Tensions are rising once again in Eastern Europe. In Poland, not far from the Ukrainian border, the calm of the countryside is suddenly broken. Heavy engines roar in the distance, growing louder, closer, more powerful with every second. And then they appear. A long column of military vehicles, stretching as far as the eye can see. Dozens of armored machines roll forward in perfect formation, heading toward a wide and unforgiving river. For anyone watching, one question becomes impossible to ignore. Why are US and NATO combat vehicles crossing rivers so close to Ukraine? The ground trembles under the weight of steel. Trucks, armored carriers, and engineering vehicles push forward, each playing a role in the unfolding operation. At the riverbank, soldiers move with speed and precision. Massive pontoon sections are thrown into the water. One by one, they lock together, forming a floating bridge that stretches across the current. On the far side, vehicles wait their turn. Engines idle, exhaust rising in the cool air, ready for the signal to advance. It is a moment of tense anticipation. The first vehicle moves forward. Metal tracks grind against the steel surface, echoing across the water. The floating bridge shifts slightly under the enormous weight, but it holds firm. Then another follows, and another. One after another, trucks, carriers, and heavy armored vehicles surge across the water. Each crossing is a test not only of engineering, but of resolve. To the soldiers, it is routine. To the world watching, it is a message. Why does this matter? Because rivers have always been one of the greatest obstacles in warfare. Destroy a bridge, and entire divisions can be cut off. Attack while an army is trapped at the water's edge, and chaos will follow. But NATO refuses to be trapped. This river crossing proves that when the bridges are gone, the mission continues. When obstacles appear, new paths will be built. Mobility will not be denied. The choice of location is not an accident. Poland has become NATO's shield on the eastern flank. Since the war in Ukraine began, the country has transformed into a hub of military operations. US troops are stationed here. NATO equipment flows through its ports and roads. And now, rivers in Poland have become proving grounds for large-scale maneuvers. From this position, NATO can move north toward the Baltic, east toward Belarus, or south toward Ukraine. Every direction matters. Every route counts.
Oh, they want a pick? Yeah, we got two.
Hey, do you have it in,
For Moscow, these images carry a warning. Every vehicle that crosses the river is proof that NATO is prepared for scenarios the Kremlin might hope to exploit. Destroy infrastructure, NATO adapts. Cut supply routes, NATO builds new ones. Attempt to trap forces at the water's edge, NATO pushes through. The signal is clear. This alliance will not be stopped by rivers, roads, or borders. For Ukraine, the sight is something different. It is reassurance, a reminder that its allies are preparing for every possibility. This is not just talk, not just political promises. It is action training, movement, coordination designed to prove that NATO can respond if the crisis deepens. Each vehicle that reaches the far bank of the river is more than steel. It is a symbol of commitment. Perhaps the most powerful part of this crossing is not the vehicles themselves, but the soldiers behind them. American engineers, Polish troops, German equipment, all moving together in a single operation. Different flags, different languages, but one mission, This is NATO's strength, not only its size, but its ability to act as one. As the last vehicles reach the opposite bank, the floating bridge stands as a monument of steel and resolve. The roar of engines begins to fade, replaced by the sound of rushing water beneath the pontoons. To some, it looks like a simple exercise. To others, it is a powerful warning. But to everyone watching, it is undeniable proof that NATO is ready. The question remains, will operations like this be enough to prevent conflict? Or are they signs that an even greater storm is approaching Europe? Only time will tell.